Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. It gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
Burning desire that I have to always be something better than I was the day before. Also, to be able to get out and have a positive impact on people. One of the ways that I'm able to do that is to go out and try things and learn, and then go back and teach it to other people, give it back in a sense. And for me, that's a driving force every day, and that doesn't go away. Words of encouragement that I would have for anybody facing challenges in this sport, in life, period, is just to trust the timing of your life and not necessarily compare it to someone else's, but just trust that you're where you are and you're exactly where you need to be at that time. Learn everything you can where you are, because that's what's going to get you ready for the next level. So just enjoy the journey, but trust where you are right now.
Awesome. Welcome back to another episode of It Is What It Is podcast. I'm your host, Cody Kelly. Look, I have this suit on because I'm tired of wearing sweatpants. I live on Zoom all day because of work, and I've been feeling so presidential. But you know what? If you want to keep supporting me, two platforms you have to go to: Instagram, CVMK33, and the YouTube page, YouTube at CV Space K. You can listen, subscribe, let me know you're out there, support, comment, and where all podcasts are heard: Apple, Spotify, Anchor, wherever and however your cup of tea is, we are there. I have an amazing episode featuring Brittany Campbell, an amazing fitness influencer. She has won in fitness bodybuilding contests. I wanted to reach out to her because, first of all, I'm probably not the guy. I mean, I think I do have a decent body, but you know, when it comes to fitness, you need to hear from the subject matter professionals. I reached out and she acquiesced and decided to come on the show. So I'm super excited about this. So Brittany, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. We're just getting over our winter storm here in Texas. And so life is kind of going back to normal. Today was a really good day. It was sunny outside and getting some sunlight. So I'm on top of the world right now. I'm very, very happy.
Cool. I understand. Yeah, I have family in Texas. I know, they were hit extremely hard.
Yeah.
And, it is something. It's crazy here in Chicago. We have had like a month of just ridiculously cold weather. And today it got to like 40 degrees, so like for us, this is springtime. So I'm super excited about this. So Let's start it off. How did you stumble? Okay. Cause I always say there's people who think they work out. Okay. There's people who actually work out.
True.
There are fitness individuals that are really about that life. Right. And then there's the next level, which I place you on as far as a bodybuilder. And I said, there's a separation. Like it's the same, but it's not the same thing, right? Like, how did you get to this point that you just knew, like, I wanted to be a bodybuilder? Like, what got you there?
None of this was in my plan. I've always been athletic, always been into sports. Went to college on a tennis scholarship. joined the military, served as a commissioned officer, got stationed here, and was in real estate investment and in the Army at the same time. I was introduced into bodybuilding. It was suggested to me. There was a young lady who was a bodybuilder herself, and she was so persistent. Her name is Jade. She just got married, by the way. Congrats to her. She was just so persistent. She was like, Brittany, you got to try this. You got to try this. And I was like, maybe next year. And from the day that I decided to do it, I was on stage 6 weeks later, winning my first show. That was in 2013. And I've been doing it ever since.
Oh my God. So basically for the last 8 years, first of all, thank you for your service. Before we go any further. Yeah. So you won, like you entered into a contest. What gave you the courage? So like, I get up super, super early, right? I'm up about 4:30 in the morning. You know, I have Arnold playing in the background. I'm listening to Blueprint, but it's really from the documentary Pumping Iron. That's what it's all about, right? And I can hear him in that thick German accent, and I'm like, yo, what is going on? I'm just trying to get inside the psyche of this person, but also the confidence to stand on stage. You know, like a lot of times, not throwing any shade, a lot of people take, photos they put on Instagram, but, holding the stomach in, they got it to the side, it's got the filter on. So you don't really know. But when you're on stage, there's no filter, right? Nope. Like you either you are there or you're not there. What gave you the confidence to do that?
Confidence comes from the work that you put in. I worked extremely hard. I would go to bed at night thinking like this: if anybody outworked me today, they deserve to beat me. But I made that so hard. I mean, I really pushed it. I did have a coach, and it was like anything that was on the paper for me to do, I tried to do and overachieve. The confidence just came from how hard I was working. And so I just felt like, look, if you outworking me, take your first place, but let me see who you are. And that didn't happen. I got first place. And so I've been competing ever since. And I've just reapplied that principle. The harder I work, the better my outcome will be. And I've been fairly successful. So
the harder I work, the better the outcome will be. That's amazing. Yeah. So how do you take us down the path? Because I think, hey, look, and, there's always this rush. I saw it today in the gym, like people I haven't seen in the last 2-3 months just showed up because they were just warmer, right? Like the rush to get back into the gym, the rush to, amp it up, even though you've totally ignored the fall and the early onset of the winter. And now you have your, special diet tea and you're trying to detox. Tell us about really what it takes to get that look so that there's not this mistake that you can just go and get a magical formula and then it'll all just happen.
So one thing I like to tell people, I've been competing, 8 years now, right? So people say, well, how long is it going to take me to look like you? And I say 8 years. That's how long it took for me to look like me. Meaning when I did my first show after only preparing for 6 weeks, it looks nothing like I look today. It's just been a consistent effort over the years that has culminated in, the physique that I have today. It's just been consistent work. And I believe anybody, like whatever your goal is, you can achieve it. You just have to be willing to put in the time. Now, had somebody told me in the beginning, it's going to take you 8 years to look like this, maybe I wouldn't have done it. Right. But the time passes. I kept doing the work, and that's why I am where I am today. And so it's just taking those small steps forward every day until you get to your desired result.
I love it. When we talk about taking those small steps forward, how do you deal with when somebody comes to you and they say they might not have the, I don't know what the best way to say it. They might be intimidated by the culture in the gym. I've heard this, not from just women, but from men either. They think like, well, because, I'm maybe not used to working out or they don't know how to operate the machines. They don't want to get embarrassed. How do you coach them through that difficult time for them?
I encounter that a lot. When I'm working one-on-one with a client, I'm with them the whole time. And so I think that helps, because I'm there with them. They're not on their own. They're not trying to figure it out. I'm there teaching, explaining, and kind of holding their hand until they are comfortable and confident on their own. And so I do encourage people to try. But if you are feeling like that hesitation about going into the gym, maybe try to link up with a girlfriend or a buddy. And if you can hire a trainer, do that for sure. But, if you're feeling like that, maybe don't start out going in by yourself. Go with somebody that's a little more familiar with it. And I think that'll help you out a little bit.
Perfect. So let's talk about diet, because diet is this catch-all phrase, right?
Okay.
What do you eat and what don't you eat? Like what, I diet today, oatmeal, peanut butter, banana, scoop of protein, almond milk. I want to say that was 30, 40 grams. That was meal one, right? I'm up to 4 meals. So it's 200 grams I try to get in per day. But the diet is so regimented, and it's always, for the most part, the same, unless it's like, Sunday. And then, I try to cheat as much as I can on the diet. So tell us about your diet, Brittany.
So this answer changes as my body changes, as I age, and as I get wiser and more picky in particular about what I put in my body. So what I will tell you is that I eat for goals, meaning if I want to be healthier, I eat healthier foods. If I want to be slimmer, I eat more lean foods. If I want to be a little softer, more carbs. It varies. But if I had like a foundation of my nutrition, it's just whole natural food, like the way God put it on the earth. So foods that I eat aren't coming from machines and they're not in boxes. Like, it's whole food for the most part. And then I just kind of play with the amount of carbohydrates that I eat. But I just keep it simple. If it has an ingredients label, I kind of don't mess with it. So anything with a label and a bunch of words that I can't pronounce, I don't eat it. If I can't read it, I don't eat it. That's kind of my thing. And that's really a simple way to go about it. So you talked about oatmeal, for example, right? When you turn the container around, all it says is oats.
Yeah.
Right? But if you like a Pop-Tart, oh my gosh, all the maltodextrin and all this craziness. Like, I don't know what that's. I can't even pronounce some of the stuff. So I know my body won't understand either. So that's like easy way. If you get on the label and there's something you can't pronounce, leave it. Don't eat it.
So no Harold's Chicken for you, I assume.
No who?
Harold's Chicken. There's a famous chicken restaurant on the south side called Harold's that is the worst. It's the best tasting food. It's just terrible for you.
No, I like to eat food from my own kitchen. I don't trust everybody like that. I'm not a fast food girl. The quick, easy stuff is not really my thing.
That makes sense. So talk to us about, you talked about, you're in the armed forces, everybody's story is unique. As a woman, and then as a woman of color, have you ever faced any obstacles in the fitness? Because I don't know, I've never competed. I don't know what it's like to win these contests. Have you ever felt like maybe I was judged unfairly, or
That's a deep question. I've never taken it to heart. Sure. I understand that people have their biases, and the judges in bodybuilding are human, and they have their preferences and their biases. And I love me every day of the week. And so this is what I tell people when they're stepping on stage, is not to wrap your self-worth up in someone else's opinion of you. And in bodybuilding, at the end of the day, these are people's opinions. Okay. And so you just have to be very confident about who you are and what you bring. And then other people's opinions, if they don't like it, all right, bet, I love it. And so here's an example I'll give you. There were 2 shows that I did fairly close to each other in time frame, but they had different judges. In one, I didn't place the top 5. In one of them, I won. So I'm okay with it, because I'm okay with who I am. And I'm very secure in who I am, whether it's picked in first place or last place. I love it. So I think if you go on with that mindset, you'll be okay. But you can never wrap your opinion of yourself up in someone else's opinion. It's not like a foot race where whoever crosses the line first wins. It's very subjective. And I think going in with a lot of confidence, you have to have it. Otherwise, it'll kind of eat you up when people don't pick you. And then you find yourself trying to change things about yourself to fit what they want. Be who you want to be, and take that. Take the best version of yourself and love that, is what I would tell anybody.
I like that. Be who you want to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I come from a family full of preachers. So like I had to morph out of that like bold, because like a preacher's body is pretty basic. You either get, or you get like tall and thin, right? Like there's only 2 roles you can be in. Right? So like, I had to get like out of that and try to carve my own lane, So I always joke about my wife. I said, I want to be the world's sexiest preacher, but I'm like, I don't know if you can personally do that. I don't know how Jesus would feel about that, but who do you look up to? Like for me, my inspiration when it comes to fitness, and I don't know if I ever meet these individuals, but I do have their image like ingrained in my mind. Like if I'm chasing something, right, it's like, is it that, right? And I think everybody says Arnold, but he's one.
Yeah.
The Rock is another.
Awesome.
Mike Rashid, Simeon Panda, Michael Hearn, these are all physiques that, I think have achieved something that I would like to aspire to within my own physique, right? For you, who is there any inspiration that kind of, helped assist in this journey?
Are you familiar with Linda Murray? You got to Google that. So there, she goes by the Miss Olympia on Instagram. She had the most beautiful. She's still beautiful, right now. Let me correct that. Okay, she's not bodybuilding anymore. But she brought this very feminine, muscular. It was it had a sex appeal. It was strong, but it didn't look masculine at all. She carried herself so well. She's so graceful. And she was a really, really big inspiration for me. But I would say right now, as I'm preparing for contests, I'm just focused on really leaving the mark that I was put here to leave. Not necessarily trying to mirror anybody or look like anybody or do things like anybody else, but to leave my own mark as Brittany. And that's really what I'm looking forward to. So that's what I do every day.
I like that. Leaving your own mark, creating your own legacy, right?
Yeah, because that's what Arnold had to do. Because who did he look up to? He had to kind of create his own wave, and now people aspire to be like him. And Linda Murray did the same thing. I'm sure she had inspirations, but the mark she left was hers. And so that's what I'm trying to do too.
Perfect. I like it. So talk to us about that mark. 25 years from now, right? What will Brittany Campbell's legacy be? If you had to write out and say, it's going to be this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run for president. What does that mark look like?
Leaving the world empty-handed, meaning everything that I learned, obtained, experienced, I gave it all back. I don't want to leave with secrets or knowledge. Everything that I have, I just want to give it back. And I say that all the time. So I just want to leave here empty-handed, knowing that everything I had to give, I gave it. And that's the ultimate mark for me.
I like that. Everything I had to give, I gave it.
Yeah.
When you're in the gym, so we all have our favorite playlists. Look, my playlist, I'm gonna be honest, it varies, right? When I'm doing my Stairmaster, I got TD Jakes going sometimes. I might have Jamal Bryant. But when I'm lifting weights, I make a complete 180, and I go straight to Waka Flocka, I go straight to Chance, because it's when you have that much weight on you, you be like, okay, hold on, I don't need, I need something that's gonna actually get me to push this thing off me, right? Yeah. So talk to us about your playlist. What are you listening to?
I'm like you, it varies. I listen to music to reflect the mood that I'm in. Sometimes if I'm doing certain exercises, I know I need some heavy bass. I will tell you today I trained shoulders. I was on Pandora on Megan Thee Stallion station because I just, wanted to feel confident and sexy and bang the weights. And so Megan is helping me with that. And that's what I listen to today. So tomorrow it could be jazz. It really depends on what I'm training, what I'm doing, and the mood that I'm in. But sometimes I listen to a yoga station that's very zen. If I train early in the morning, that's what I listen to. So it varies. But today it was Megan Thee Stallion all day.
Shout out to Meg Thee Stallion. If you are listening out there, I would love to have you on the show. Shout out to Meg Thee Stallion. So shoulders. I'm actually hitting shoulders and back tomorrow. I can't wait.
Nice.
I'm gonna actually go to sleep tonight. I'm not staying up. I'm not gonna say shoulders and back is my favorite. Chest obviously is the favorite, but shoulders and back is a real close second. I'll do a double workout early in the morning, come back eating just for shoulders and back, just because that look, that shoulder, it sets the whole frame.
Oh yeah.
So what is that like for you? What Arnold talks about the pump. What is that mode? Is it is shoulders for me? What is that for you?
I'm known for my legs, so I guess I'd have to say legs, but my favorite body part to train is my back because I don't have to hold back. I can just let it all loose and go. And so it's my favorite body part to train. My legs, I have to be a little careful because I don't want them to get bigger. So I kind of have to tame myself when I'm training legs. So I'm known for my legs, but I rarely post videos of me training legs because to me it's boring because I don't get to go as hard as I want to. So I always post training back and shoulders though, because those are two areas that I don't mind growing a little bit. So.
Oh, makes a lot of sense. I'm trying my hardest to really get, that look and to get my leg game right. I don't know why, I don't know if I was born just with just terrible. I don't know, but I'm working on it. That's
all you can do. You just work on it.
You just keep going. So, fitness has evolved.
Yeah.
I don't, when it was probably made, extremely popular in the 70s, then it kind of, hit a certain phase and then kind of went down. And then it's been like this. But now I think fitness's next phase of evolution has really shifted into being an influencer, right?
Yep.
Like now looking good for the gram, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not about contest anymore. I was listening to Mike Rasheed's podcast and Jay Cutler was on there. He said, now he's like, it's hard trying to get people to compete, right?
It's
like
true.
On stage, so it's no longer about, winning, Mr. Universe, Mr. Olympia. Now it's about, getting 1 million followers on the gram, selling merchandise, getting a supplement sponsor, creating your own.
Yeah.
Is that what do you feel about that? Before we go into what do you feel like somebody has competed and, you kind of see where fitness was 8 years ago and where it is now? Like, what do you feel about the industry as a whole?
I mean, the content in life has changed and, we have to accept that our sport is going to change and evolve just like everything else. And I think there's room for everybody. If you love to compete, do it. Don't worry about what the influencers are doing. If social media is not your thing, don't force yourself to do that. I am starting to see the trend, like competitors kind of going more into the influential roles, but do you, there's room for everybody. Don't do anything you're uncomfortable with. Cause there's stuff I see girls do on Instagram. You're not going to see me do it. I'll pass, so, and I'm a competitor at heart. Like that's in me. So I'm going to get on stage and compete because that's what I love to do. But I accept people for who they are and, I roll with the waves and, this is what I'm doing because this is what I enjoy, but I don't feel any pressure to do anything that I don't want to do because I won't do it. So, it's just about knowing yourself and what do you want, but things change and we have to be okay with that, but be confident about yourself and what you bring and with what you want to do.
I like it. Well spoken. Is there like a product line coming out? Is there like the Brittany Campbell pre-workout formula that's going to hit GNC in the next month? I mean, anything of that nature coming down the pipeline?
No, and I'll tell you why, because I don't feel that's solving a problem. I don't think that the answer people are looking for can be found in a bottle. I think you need to get up and get moving. I think you need to eat more fruit and vegetables. I think you need to drink more water. And those are things you can do on your own. So I'm not a fan of, so I'm not going to sell a product to you because that's not something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about you being healthy. I'm passionate about you believing in yourself and being confident. And I can't sell you that in GNC. And so there's nothing in GNC I'm trying to push to you. And if you go on my social media now, you don't see products that I'm pushing to anybody. And even clients, when they come to me, they want to know, well, what fat burner do I take? What protein? I don't endorse any product other than get up and do what you're supposed to do. So no, as far as products, I'm not going to attach my name to anything that I'm not passionate about. Now, if something came along and I was passionate about it, would probably be like a vitamin or something, but not like pre-workouts and all this bodybuilder stuff. It's really not my thing. It's not what I'm passionate about. So I don't want to be associated.
Hey, I like it. I don't hear it all. So, I worked out at Quads. Like it's a famous gym here in Chicago. And they have like pictures of like because Serge is from here, Sergio Oliver, right? So
yeah.
So he's from here, and you have pictures of him and Arnold working out, and it's like, but you can almost, I won't say smell the supplements in the air. It's a very grungy type. So, but that's what it is. That's kind of the culture. No offense. I don't want to get sued. I love it. Perfect area. But I'm just saying, for a lot of times what I hear, especially from men that work out, they're always trying to look for that, that next pill, and it's like, I think it's setting up a very potentially hazardous, anything or hazardous choice that could, end up coming down the line.
Yeah.
How do we as a society get people back active? Because it seems like, and obviously COVID didn't help, but it seems like obesity is the norm now. Like it's not, it's something taboo. And, I'm all for people loving themselves, but to the point that now it's like, if you say anything against it, you're body shaming. We would never body shame anybody. We love everybody.
Yeah.
But how do we tackle? Because there is, comorbidities. There is things that come with being obese that could be detrimental to your life. How do we tackle that?
You start with yourself. Be the change that you want to see and make sure that you're setting a good example. So that anybody that looks at you says, you know what, I want to make a change, but I see this person doing that. Maybe I can do it that way. So start with yourself and just make sure that at all times you're putting your best foot forward and you're setting a good example. And then start with the people in your immediate circle. And it's not about you being intrusive, but be a beacon of light for them, be an example for them, share what you know. That's why I talk about giving it all back. So if you're connected with me on social media, I'm an open book. I don't have any secrets. I can't save everybody. I can't reach everybody, but I can start with myself. Then I can start with my inner circle. Then those people work on themselves in their circles. And that's kind of how it grows. So how do you tackle that? Start with yourself and make sure you're taking good care of yourself. And so that you're a good example.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell? I wrote a paper back in college years ago when I had hair. And the paper was called The Color of Obesity. It was really dealing with Black women and some of the reasons why exercise is not really embedded in our community. From hair to the lack of gyms to finances. That we really see systemic oppression even in the realm of fitness and the access to these certain amenities. How do you do that? Like if you're speaking to like a community of just women of color and we're trying to change the narrative, right? And you talked about starting with yourself in your inner circle. How do you broaden the message of that inclusion to say like, hey, look, we have things facing us as women that we need to take care of? How does that message correlate?
I actually read a paper. I don't know if it was your paper, but I read a paper that said the number one reason Black women don't work out is because of their hair.
It might have been my paper. I don't know.
You knew about that, right? And this is a real thing. Like, when you're trying to sweat out the perms. Me personally, I would not let my hair stand between me and being the best possible version of myself. And so you probably don't know this, but people that know me know, like, all this comes off when I go to bed. Like, my natural hair, I keep very short because I'm sweating multiple times a day. I want to keep it clean. I don't want to cause damage to it. So, for me, okay, you're a preacher, so you can help me out with this. There's like what's the scripture that's like, if your eye causes you to sin, pluck your eyes.
Plug it out. Yeah. Jesus.
Guess what? If your hair is causing you to not be healthy, cut it. Get it off, buy a wig, keep it moving. Because you can buy hair, but you cannot buy good health. And that's something you have to take into. And that's just the point I came to. I was like, I'm not going to let this stop me. And so I didn't. I don't think everybody will do that, of course, but that's just an example. Like, don't let anything come between you and being the best possible version of yourself. Nothing that you see as a hurdle means more than you being healthy. So, and that's just what I'm at. And I started with myself. I'm not telling people to do it. I did it. I cut mine so I could get in the gym and sweat and not have to worry. And that's where I'm at.
I like it. We're going to get finger snaps on that one. You can buy a wig, but you cannot buy health. I like that.
I could put hairstyle a day of the week if I want to be blind tomorrow, but I'm going to be healthy every day. And so that's what mattered to me the most, more than the hair. And that's where I'm at.
No, it makes sense. I mean, I'm bald, so I kind of have this natural advantage. I just wake up and I'm like this automatically, so I don't have to really do much work.
Can I just stop you right there on the ball? Let me just share this because somebody needs to hear this. The first day I cut my hair, that first shower, feeling the water like on my scalp was the best feeling ever. And I was like, I see why guys like going to the barbershop and get, like, I've been missing out all these years. I really enjoy having naturally short hair. Like, and people ask me about it, I'm like, I'm never growing it back. Like, I enjoy it too much. And so just just want to throw that out there. Like, if so anybody's considering the chop, like, you won't regret it. I promise.
You won't regret it if you consider chop. I like, hey, yeah, being bald. I just said this. Being bald is a life of without responsibilities. I don't go to the barbershop. I don't, it's here. I just have to shave, but I mean, it's just here. So it just kind of works.
I'm enjoying it, and I don't see that changing because it feels good. I feel like liberated and cleaner. You know what I mean? Like to have to shower but not clean your head. I want everything clean, and so I'm really enjoying it.
It kind of works.
Yeah. So
talk to us about now correlating that shift toward men. Okay. I've had a few coaches on here, fitness trainers, influencers, and I'm always hearing about this toxic masculinity that sometimes is present, in the gym. Not like competitiveness, just like, constantly, getting hit on and, like I've heard it, and I guess and stuff like that. Yeah. And then, some guy came to my wife today and I'm sitting here, I'm literally squatting. I'm like, this is my wife, like I don't pay it any mind because I just laugh it off. And plus, his body looked like crap anyway. So I was like, I ain't got nothing to worry about. So, I'm just being honest. But it's a real thing. I see it, especially in Chicago. I see it every day. How should the environment be? Like, right, when you're talking to men, and especially, you might have, male clients, right? Like, talk to us about, what that interaction should look like versus sometimes how it gets blown into this extreme, something that shouldn't be there.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
Go for it. Say what it is.
I'm never going to shun men for pursuing something that they see and they want. Sure. I'm not with it. A man that's, and I'm not saying, condone the guy, talking to your wife, like, but if a man is in the gym and he sees a woman taking care of herself rather,
right.
That's attractive. A woman that takes care of herself, that's big ticket. That's a catch. And so for men going to the gym, I think that's a great place to find a woman because no woman can take care of a man if she can't take care of herself. Okay. So I'm not going to shun the guys for that. Me, like, if you come at me, I'm gonna let you know, no, I'm not interested and keep it moving. But I'm not going to shun it. And I don't think that the gym is a bad place to meet people because you have a common interest in your health. And I think, it can work, but, just, let it slide. Like, hey, I'm not interested. Keep it moving. I've not seen incidents where like, a lady turned a guy down in the gym and it turned into a thing. Just, be honest and upfront. If you're not interested, you're just not interested, but don't shun a man for seeing something he wants and pursuing it. I think that's what a man's supposed to do in my book. And I may get in trouble for that, but
that because you live in Texas and Chicago. Chicago.
Are the guys more aggressive in Chicago?
So Deion Cole would say like this: Chicago is a real place, right? Like Chicago, it's just like something so small that like if you find somebody attractive, that's who you wanted to approach. Whether you shut down or not, whatever, harmless. But in Chicago, like, man, that can go south really fast. And you're sitting there, you're like, what is going on? I was in a gym. Terrible story. And totally unrelated. But this is how something small can turn into something big.
Okay.
So in the gym, this is like pre-COVID. So this is like 2 years ago. And guy has his workout bag. And, he has it sitting here, whatever. And another guy, I think he just walks over and trips over by mistake. Right. Yeah. And dude, he raises up. He's like, bro, don't you see my bag here? And he's like, man, my bad. And then he was like, bro, next time you do something, you better apologize to something. The guy he says it. So the guy that's responding was like, do you want me to go to my trunk? Something that was completely avoidable. It was a mistake. I mean, nothing happened. Thank God. But all of us in the gym literally paused because we all had to make a decision like, do we leave now? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like before the stupid stuff starts happening. Yeah. Because Chicago.
In the gym because stuff like that happens in the grocery store parking lots.
That's true.
So it's not the gym. It's just, there are aggressive, mean, angry people everywhere you go. I had a guy, I thought he was going to try to fight me at the grocery store one time. So we can't put it on the gym culture. I think it's just, people need to work on being better people, period, wherever they are.
Work on being a better person.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, last question. I appreciate you bringing so much. So much for being on here. Last question. So if you could share a message, right? With the world, we're dealing with a lot right now. We still have COVID. We're trying to get this vaccination going. We're still averaging high numbers of deaths per day. We've reached over 500,000 in American lives that have been lost due to this pandemic. We have still civil unrest. I mean, that has pretty much always been the story of America, but it seems like it's just resurged. We just have a lot going on. Say something, that people should vibe off of, that they should take and take this with them, and they can just start the process of getting on the right track, even if it's just health related. I'm always going to go back to self. You have to give yourself the love that you need first. I believe that whatever you give out, you can only give out of a cup what you have in the cup. Fill it with love. So that way, when you go out into the world, into all the craziness that we're facing, COVID, racial tension, the only thing you have to give, to dig out and give, is love. So you got to keep working on self every day. Work on loving yourself every day, being kind to yourself every day. And then you find yourself in these situations, and that's what comes out: kindness, compassion, love. And I think if we do that person by person, things get better. Because can you imagine if we all made decisions around each other based on compassion, love, empathy? You know what I mean? So start with self and give yourself the love that you need, so you're full of love, and then you can go out into the world and share that. That's what I really, really focus on: caring for myself, treating myself well, and then treating other people well is so easy. I practice on myself every day. This is just what I do. So when I encounter you, all I have is kindness for you. All I have is love for you, because that's what I'm filling myself with. So start with yourself, and then take that out into the world, and get yourself right before you get out there, because it's hard. It can overtake you. It can be overwhelming. So get yourself right before you go out into the world and have to face all the things that we do every day. Get yourself right before you get out there in the world. Yeah. Because if you're not working on self, what are you taking into the world to present? Feel yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, and take that love and compassion out, every day. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Brittany, where can they connect with you? Where can the people follow you, support you, be inspired by you? Where can they follow you? Instagram, Go Figure Brittany, Brittany. Instagram is my all-time favorite social media handle. I do have my YouTube up. It's popping. It's Go Figure Brittany on YouTube too. But if you hit me up on Instagram and go in my bio, it'll link you to my YouTube. So there you're finding like cooking videos, training videos, all of that. I am an open book. If you write me, I'm going to write you back. It is me every time. I really do make an effort to respond to every single comment, DM, everything. So Instagram at Go Figure Brittany, and then that'll link you to my YouTube. And my Gmail, if you want to email me, it's gofigurebrittany@gmail.com. Perfect. Look, y'all go support Brittany. Please, get her on IG, subscribe to the YouTube page. You know what's so funny? Subscribing and following is free. It shows the person that, hey, look, I saw you. I appreciate your content. I appreciate your work you're putting in. I appreciate you. It encourages them to keep going. And the coolest thing is, it's free. You want to know how you keep supporting this podcast? Subscribe to the link below at YouTube at CV_K. You can also follow me on Instagram, CVMK33, where I put up videos, not of me cooking, because I can't cook. Anything outside of oatmeal is outside of my realm. So I don't cook unless I can open it in a can or somehow read it on a box and it has instructions. That's how I try to figure out my food from day to day. But you'll see some cool videos of me working out and trying to get to my plateaus, like hitting the 405 squat that I've been struggling with, that I will get, and I will be at 405 on a flat bench within very shortly. I appreciate my guest. Brittany has been amazing, guys. Follow her, connect with her. Until next time, guys. Thanks. Hey, what's up, everybody? You like what you saw? Were you entertained? Were you informed? We want to keep seeing amazing content. Subscribe. at the link below. YouTube, CV Space K. You connect where all podcasts are streaming, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. Connect with me. I want to connect with you. Let's enjoy the ride.